Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to tonight's match. Joining me, I am your ever-elusive observer and caster, Duke Karj, and joining me tonight is Enrage. Hey, hi, Enrage.
Hello, everyone. I am back and ready for tonight's cast. We have Indiana University versus the University of Wisconsin-Madison. They'll be facing off against each other tonight for the semifinals of the Open League here.
I do believe this is the last semifinal match we need before we lock in the finals and the third place match.
I believe so as well. That will be a very defining game as that will choose who goes to be the first and second match, and also who will be relegated to play in the third and fourth place match.
That is a true. Back in on, I'm trying to think back how far back we went. It was Friday. I believe it was Friday. Yes, Penn State Academy faced off against San Jose State University and ended up getting crossed off for first place. Very unfortunate, but did you have any expectations for Penn State going much further than it did, or were you surprised that they got that far?
Honestly, Penn State was a team that I had my eyes on. I was thinking that they were going to do well
Mhm.
based on the performance that I saw based on their early season play, but I think they did really surprisingly well in that match as well. I mean, I personally wasn't expecting it, but I can see why they played the way that they did. They played very well. And that's not to say that SJSU didn't play very well either. They're both great teams, which is why they were playing for the places that they were. Looks like we're just waiting on a couple players from Wisconsin here.
Yep.
Hopefully they will join shortly and we can get this match on the road and going.
Yeah, they do have a few minutes to get them in. Let's hope that they are in by that timestamp. Otherwise, okay, they're just waxing their. I'm trying to say that they're trying to polish up their aim, but I keep going to wax instead of the polish, and therefore my idiom doesn't work.
Yeah, they're trying to get a little bit of T-Hunt in. They ran over a little bit. It happens. But they should be here in just a second, and then we should be able to get going.
That is an interesting thing we could talk about. Do you actually think that T-Hunt aim practice right before a match helps?
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, T-Hunt, it's not... I don't want to say it's the best tool that you could ask for, because it's not. But it's actually... I think it's better than a lot of what people give it credit for.
Mm-hmm.
It teaches you to aim for the head. It teaches you to pre-fire angles. It's one of the best ways to actually run specific maps. So you can just practice strats. If you want to practice vertical gameplay, it's a good time to do it because they don't really react to it, so you can figure out where the angles are without getting shot. And that way you don't have to worry about going into a casual and getting spawn peeked before you get to try your cool strat.
Fair enough. I personally have little technical skill in the game, so usually that kind of practice doesn't do much for me. It does get me primed for the mindset of getting into a game and getting ready for PvP, but it definitely doesn't assist much, especially with how much little desk space I have for playing.
Right, and I mean, if you're gonna play more of a utility op, it's definitely not as effective. Like playing Thatcher and whatnot, the nitro cell rooms are extremely obvious. You know, you just throw it next to the wall and boom, the room's taken care of. You know, if you're playing someone like Ash, however, and you want to practice just rushing in and getting as many headshots in 30 seconds as possible, go for it. It might help you a little bit more. Looks like we've got everyone inside the lobby now, heading into Oregon on our first map. They will be IU attacking first. Oregon has seen a couple meta shifts recently, with just the addition of Nomad, Cade, and whatnot. Based on some previous plays I've seen on this map, I wouldn't be surprised if we see a Cade pick to possibly try to counter the hatch on Oregon, and for the basement specifically. Not to mention the TCS-12 that he brings to the table has identical stats to Glaz's OTS-03 sniper rifle, with the removal of the thermal scope and an addition of an ACOG. So it's a very powerful operator to bring on basement, as long as you can hit your shots with that gun and you know your timing.
Looks like the first ban is going to be off of the Nomad. Definitely not wanting to play with that counter... yeah, with a counter flank on Nomad. Maybe also the interruption that we've seen sometimes some teams use by tossing it at a Mira.
Dokubi ban coming out here as well. That's a good choice. Dokubi did get a little bit nerfed in the start of this season, with her phone calls being a maximum of 12 seconds and also getting automatically turned off at the end of that duration, plus by mute jammers, but also has a good loadout to be able to counter as well. Mira ban here as well coming out from IU. That'll take care of a little bit of pressure that they would have had to face, vaulting into basement and possibly second floor in kid's bedroom as well.
I do have to say, I feel like Mira bans are very extreme nowadays, with so much counterplay having been developed against Mira, but if you don't feel comfortable using that counterplay, I guess you should ban Mira, after all.
Wisconsin actually ending up banning the Cade out here. Kind of like how I mentioned earlier, he does play a very strong factor in that basement site. Getting that site to be less viable off the board can actually help quite a bit.
Already getting off to the start of the first round here. Any expectations to the what configs these teams are going to be running? At least, oh, they're actually running 3 hard breachers on Indiana's setup, with at least one counter hard breach.
I could definitely see one of those being 6 picked off of.
And
the Frost pick to the Echo, very strong pick, and Maverick onto Jackal as well. That'll definitely help with the roam clear. They have Jaeger to deal with, as well as Alibi and possibly Legion playing off-site. Jackal will help with that. Probably will be sent in along with, if I had to guess, maybe Hibana. To try to roam. Actually, more likely Capitao to try to deal with those roamers. Having the 3-speed combined with a Jackal track can make that a lot more effective to deal with.
Hold up. Looks like Akazi is going ahead and sealing up the attic. Also going to stop any roaming from there and also cut off the attacker's access from over here. Possibly to the meeting room?
That'll definitely open up a little bit more play inside of Meeting Hall. If you don't have to worry about attackers pushing you from that ladder, you can have a lot more freedom of movement inside of Meeting, just because you don't have to worry about anyone trying to push you from those unfavorable vertical angles. Alternatively, if they want to get into Attic, then now they have to breach into there from the tower side of the map, which will definitely give a sound cue.
Going ahead, and Slasher is going to spot out, I believe that was the Legion in tower? Well, D's going to be a little bit AFK for a little bit, but that's okay. It's just the start of the round, 30 seconds in. All his team really needs to do is set up a bit more aggressive. Sorry, push up as much as possible. We have a late reinforcement here, as Akazi is holding the upstairs, having opened up little rotation hole back into tower. Well, Crux is going to be looking towards the double doors of meeting. Still not much action has happened, but we do see a lot of setup for... Yep, okay, as Mr. Slasher's going to do a little bit of action there, take down a cam and take down one of Alibi's Prismas, and we're going to keep going into...
Looks like Draco here trying to make his way quickly but efficiently through the top floor on the site side of the map. Tracking Alibi right now, making sure that nothing is going to try to sneak up on him and take anyone off guard. Doing a good job here of thermiting open that hatch right away. Already have the shotgun breach holes there set up. Free fire through the wall, trying to take out Alibi as she comes closer to site, watching the drone hole for any feet that might walk by, even if just for a fraction of a second to get that information. Like Slasher trying to hold Meeting Hall here, prevent any rotates. Crux, however, peeking from the other side of the big double doors, pre-firing a little bit into the hallway towards kitchen, but not actually going to connect any shots.
Like the Kazi, however, is going to open up a rotation into kitchen through the pantry. Not going to use it just yet. Possibly going to get crossed off from the left here by Mr. Slasher. Mr. Slasher is not going to find Akazi. Instead, Akazi's going to find one. Going to try to get a second one. No, the hipfire just says no. And around the corner, Crux tries to get the Jackal that was in the double doors, but it's going to go down to breakfast. Corsair is going to take down Brandino. Draco's going to take down Akazi, and it's going to be a 4v1. 40 seconds left, and it is down to Banana Cat to hold for the last 30 seconds.
Worth noting that he does still have both yokai drones active. One is currently being EMP'd by Thatcher, which will mean that there's no plant denial coming off. That pre-fire coming onto the stairs will give them a little bit of pressure, but that plant is still going down and won't be able to get denied. The pick from the hatch is going to take him out.
Very well
positioned.
positioned.
Round 1 for IU.
Extremely well positioned. Would have liked to see a flick onto the Jackal's head, but unfortunately it didn't happen this time.
And playing against that hatch is a very unfavorable angle to try to take in the first place. Not only are you exposing most of your body to see maybe a fraction of their head, but you're also playing an upwards angle, which definitely doesn't help.
I agree to that.
Having the high ground does give you quite an advantage, especially in firefights like in Siege, where you have to deal with both verticality and also the perspective that you see from.
Seems to me that their defense of trying to keep a lockdown on meeting room was a good idea, but it ended up coming down to their gunfights and not being able to capitalize on the fact that they had control of meeting room to actually get those frags that they needed to secure site.
IU did a really good job of just kind of isolating some of the map. They essentially cordoned off meeting hall. They never actually went into the meeting hall. They just said, okay, we set up 2 people outside. We're going to watch the double doors, make sure that no one pushes us from any of those angles. And then from there, they were able to execute and take out site without really having to worry about a rotate, possibly because of that double reinforcement up in attic.
So going off into round 2, doesn't seem like they've really changed up their operators much to try and match what went wrong last round. Looks like they're going to be going with the same strategy overall. Still got that echo, still got that smoke. Unfortunate that the smoke was crossed off so early on in the round. Perhaps if he was had stuck to sight, he could have... No, I just know that the smoke was crossed off very early into the round. That's about it.
And worth noting that bringing that rook will provide a little bit more damage resistance and a little bit more defensive capability to the more squishy operators on the team, such as Jaeger and Legion. That will bump them up to the equivalent of 2 and 3 armor respectively. Not to mention it will give them the opportunity to be revived should they be in a safe spot.
It doesn't look like they're carrying out the same strategy and blocking off attic. Instead, it looks like they're going to keep it open instead, as the attackers drone out their path that they're going to try and clear.
And I think that bringing the rook, especially with having the option to take impacts, will allow that for a bit more rotation, which seemed to be what they were lacking last round. They had a good job of trying to keep sight held down, but as soon as they couldn't rotate to support each other, IU did a good job of capitalizing on realizing that, and was able to kind of watch a set amount of angles and just figure out where they were coming from. Slasher already inside, getting a drone inside of meeting hall, notices that there's 2 just on the door, going to be peeking at a little bit wide, trying to get an angle on anyone who gets aggressive and might peek out. Some pre-fires coming out at the sound cube, but nothing going to connect quite yet.
Already 1 minute down, and it looks like IU is doing a good job of cordoning off again little sections of the map. Will Draco run into the rotation hole in pantry? Only time will tell. He does hear the shots, and he's going to look in, sees the feetsies, and locates Rook in the attic.
Worth noting that those footprints were yellow, which means that they are a bit old, not all the way expired though. Meaning that he does have a decent amount of time since he was there, and speaking of that, using that Jackal track very effectively, able to take out Akazi quite quickly, getting a nice second pick onto Crux as well. Slasher a little bit low from chasing him around as well, but still up and alive.
Gonna try and find the Echo Drone, not gonna see it, and looks like it's gonna get crossed off anyways by Draco, finding it on the floor right next to Slasher. And it is going to be down to 1 minute left. Hatches in meeting room being open as D gets gooed right here from punching the floor. Can you punch a goo?
Barbed wire. Yes, but it has to be a certain distance. Taking care of that barbed wire early is a good call there. That Capitao fire just not doing quite the job of spreading around the shield, even with the changes to it. Looks like those smoke grenades will prevent the default plant on side of the washer for a little bit here, but D still able to actually get up on top of it just a little bit, but no, getting picked up quickly, refragged as well.
Rafe takes down D, Courtside takes a refrag, and then Brandino refrags onto Rafe, and it is down to just Banana Cat and Brandino trying to get frags, and a wallbang happens from Brandino onto Draco. Breakfast takes on Banana Cat, and Brandino instead chooses to go back down. He could catch him off guard, but he is aware of him being on the stairs, and Brandino goes down to Breakfast. Oh, if only he had pushed when earlier when he did, instead of trying to step back, he could have gotten the Capitao, and that would have been round for Wisconsin.
Yeah, just a little bit of hesitation there at the end of the round, being less than favorable for them. Overall, some good shots being connected both ways, really good refrags there from coming out from both sides. I believe the trades were almost exactly 1-to-1 for each firefight.
That is true. Up until the end, it became a 1v1, and if Brandito had pushed, no hesitation, that could have been a round for Wisconsin. Because if I recall, I did hear a little beep of a Claymore getting set down onto the diffuser. So, he might have gotten hit by that. Might not. Who knows?
Definitely possible. Looks like the 6th pick here coming out from Ying onto Jackal. That is actually quite a decent mind game to play. Ying is a very strong operator for pushing the more aggressive sites on this map, like second floor. And being able to read into Madison's strategy and see that they are planning on actually going up there and faking that Ying out will be quite a good advantage for them. That means that Jaeger might put 2 ADXs on the big window, which means that Thatcher can take out a little bit more utility with his EMP grenades.
That is true. Let's take a quick look at how the kills are stacking up. Right now, the attackers, Indiana University, are doing pretty well for themselves, if I may say so, for them. 3-2-3-2. That's pretty even. Meanwhile, Wisconsin not really showing up very much to a lot of these sites. However, as we said, 1v1 on was a very favorable outcome that they got to in the last round, and let's hope that they can not only recreate that, but improve upon it. That was a bit of interesting movement right there.
Looks like they're trying to set up a bit more of a site-heavy defense here this round. Sending Akazi a little bit off-site, but not overly extended, is going to be trying to get a little bit further out, possibly get an early pick on Draco or Breakfast.
And Draco
going down instead. The pre-fire just unfortunately timed.
And Draco is going to cross off the dock, meaning that those stims are no longer going to be in play, and the defenders will not have an extra stock of health at all.
Slasher doing a good job of droning out Big Tower, making sure that nothing is going to try to peek them from the extended angles that will be available on the 3rd floor. Crux, however, is working his way slowly towards Thatcher, holding some angles inside of Meeting Hall. Looks like he possibly might have heard Draco inside of Kitchen. Draco does have the Ital 12S, which is able to make the rotate hole into Meeting Hall if he so chooses, but also could be used to play a little bit of vertical. Looks like he does hear the player up inside of his bedroom, actually able to pinpoint that location quite precisely, but not quite able to land the shots. Looks like just missing the foot there. I believe that is Wraith.
He could just, look through the floor and see the footprints here, but it doesn't look like he's going to waste a Jackal charge on that. Instead, we're going to see another fight happening. I believe they're Banana Cat. Oh, wait. It does look like Crux is in the tower at the moment, trying to find Mr. Slasher. He finds him and takes him down. Crux with the first frag of the round for Wisconsin.
That does leave it up to D to be in charge of all the hot breaching this round. Granted, the angles that they're most focused on right now seems to be the master bedroom wall based on D's positioning early in the round.
What is Wraith doing here?
Wraith trying to play a bit of vertical play and possibly shut down any rotations inside of Kitchen.
That did not work. And instead, Wraith is going to take down his own health.
Impact tricking the wall, just not quite working out. Crosshair placement a little bit off, but he does have the shotgun with a push and the one shot coming out. Low health on Wraith, but not a problem. He's got diffuser down. He's got the smoke charges out. That will be a good amount of denial. Banana Cat holding a nice long angle onto the hallway against courtside from IU. That will be a rough angle to try to push himself, but he does have the backup from Draco.
Big Breakfast is going to be trying to push in here any second now. Smokes go out as courtside is trying to push in. Takes down Ray first. Whiffs in a little bit of that smoke as Banana Cat refrags onto Breakfast. And from behind, Crux tries to come in, but Draco knocks him off. And from the side, Brandino takes down Draco and then takes down courtside. Let's watch that on the replay.
much better execution here from Madison on that site retake. The impact trick didn't quite work to try to take out that closet thermite that they were trying to deal with.
Mm-hmm.
But it ended up working just because the smoke had the shotgun present on the board, which was able to neutralize the fact that thermite had the health advantage just due to the raw fragging power of shotguns at that close of range.
I think Wisconsin heard me about not getting enough frags, and because everyone has a frag on their team now. And Brandino is actually being pretty much a force of nature with those 5 frags already on the board after 3 rounds.
Definitely doing a good job of playing angles very carefully. Noticed on the Legion that they stayed on white stairs for a good portion of the round, just making sure that no one would rotate up and catch the other anchors on site off guard. And then as soon as sight was lost, they did a good job of rotating back on and getting some nice frags through the bars of the bunk beds, taking out any sort of attempt to get that diffuser back into the hands by you.
Already moving on to round 4. We're close to the flip, but it's not here just yet. It is 2-1. First map still. This is Oregon, Indiana University's first pick. And they got to choose... Sorry, Wisconsin got to choose whether to attack or defend. They chose to defend on Indiana's map.
Unsurprisingly, choosing to defend first on Oregon as well. Having basement and kid's bedroom as your sites to start the map on, it definitely gives you a pretty nice advantage there. 2 of the strongest sites available overall. Definitely the 2 strongest sites on this map currently.
2
Looks like
reinforcements?
Going to be double reinforcing the wall, making sure that they have to use any sort of hot breach utility to take that out, meaning that you can't actually pull off the thermite soft wall trick, instead using it to blow up the hard wall. Same effect, but it does use a little bit more utility.
So you'd have to use both exothermic charges? Is that what I'm hearing?
You can still get it with one. It's just if you want to open up the full wall extended, which we've seen IU do in the past rounds, they will have to use both. I don't expect IU to actually use that, but it is possible that they might, assuming that they want to play a little bit more of an extended angle from classroom down into the rotation into laundry.
Draco's gonna get droned in here as Akazi is already off in the attic. I don't think there's a rotation right there. No, there is no rotation for Akazi into the bedroom, so I don't think Draco's actually gonna find him. Instead, we're gonna see Draco try to find any footsteps below. Doesn't look like much action is happening at the moment. However, Smitch's Slasher is back at the tower. Possibly going to push in here, try to get somebody in meeting. That somebody might be, I believe, Crux. Yep. Trying to hold here.
Worth noting that the Jaeger and Rook actually got swapped this round roll-wise. Some pre-fire coming through the wall, not actually quite connecting on Crux, but does get him to move around a little bit, possibly making a bit of noise for Slasher to set up on. Looks like Slasher doing a good job of setting up on that, actually getting a headshot onto Crux there as well. Nice execution from Indiana.
And now it's down to... yeah, just 4 on Wisconsin's team. Where is Rafe? Rafe is on site. Then Akazi must still be upstairs, getting shot through the wall. And Slasher's probably going to cross this one off too. And Slasher, headshot on Akazi. And it's a 5v3 with 1 minute to go. It's looking better and better for Indiana.
Stay back.
Worth noting that the Roamers did do a good job of wasting a lot of Indiana's time, but leaving a minute on the clock to deal with when you only have 3 smoke grenades does cause a bit of contingency with that plan.
Looks like Rafe
how fire will prevent that a little bit as well.
Oh, and it's trying to stop Rafe from pushing up on here. He's trying his best to push that smoke down range, but it's just not doing enough damage to any of them, and Rafe is actually going to go down to somebody in the hatch. Brandino down as well, gets slashed by Mr. Slasher, but he also slashes Rafe.
The last person alive for Wisconsin will actually be Banana Cat, playing inside of sight with Echo. Gets a 1, but does go down again to Slasher.
Was that a... that was a 4K, right?
I believe so.
Okay.
That was... it looks like those kills were very much funneled towards Slasher's end of things. Draco did a good job of pressuring the Rook. His teammates on the hatch did a good job of pressuring that as well. I believe that was D on Thermite. Overall, very well executed push by Indiana to try to funnel the defenders into less favorable angles.
Looks like at the moment they're gonna be going back to laundry room for the last defense. It is round 5. Indiana reigning supreme right now with a 2-point advantage. Do you think Wisconsin can turn it around, Enrage?
I definitely think the option's on the table. We've seen 3-1s up to 5-1s, possibly even 5-0s go completely opposite ways before. It's definitely not worth crossing off the option at this point in the game.
The run backs.
That said, there are still 2 more maps to be played after this as well. So there is plenty of room for a comeback if that is an option.
That definitely is an option, and back at the basement, we're going to see whether or not Wisconsin is going to adapt, and it doesn't look like they've changed any rules around this time to try and accomplish that. Might be that they switch up their positioning instead and try to work off of that.
I do hope that Wisconsin has a bit more... I'm sure that they're aware of what Indiana's trying to do at this point. I think that they will have hopefully caught on to the strategy that Indiana seems to be using, which is to flank from both sides of the map, pinch off first floor, move down to the second floor, and move down to the basement while holding on that hatch, and just slowly, essentially compress the map down to just the rooms they want to focus on.
Yep, a stranglehold indeed on the defense.
And I think Wisconsin, assuming that they can utilize that strategy against Indiana, will set up a bit more, not necessarily aggressively, but a bit more tactically, I guess would be the term. Try to take a bit more risky angles, but with the aggression that they need. For example, Akazi, seeming to hear Mr. Slasher, has seen him come through this door many a time before in this game. Does seem to know about that, pre-firing, not connecting the shots, but does let Slasher know that he is in danger if he wants to go that way.
Looks like we're going to be watching Mr. Slash for a little bit. He's still droning. He's trying to check. It looks like they've chosen to pull back the entire defense and not roam at all. Instead, choosing to have more of an anchor setup instead.
Reload! Worth noting that IU actually not pushing as far into the building as they have in previous rounds. They are currently a minute in and still droning for the most part. Draco is up in attic watching inside a meeting. Looks like he doesn't see any footprints, but now does get this spot on them up on there. He does actually notice the rook down right below him, but that will be through an indestructible floor.
It looks to me like... Oh, and looks like they didn't do the double wall again, and instead are choosing to leave that open, use the reinforcements elsewhere, and now Rafe is going to be here on smoke duty, trying to stall for as long as he can.
Wraith has had a bit of trouble trying to throw those smoke grenades from that angle before, but alas, that was fighting against a Capitao asphyxiation bolt and also having a deployable shield a bit in the way. This time, neither of those exist. Capitao arrows, however, worth noting, are not blocked by Jaeger ADS, which means that there will be nothing to stop him from cutting off that rotation.
Slash is going to take out Brandino and is going to continue keeping pressure up on Harry Potter at the moment. Going to push up and going to get shot at by the Rook. Crooks has not been able to finish him off just yet. He just needs one bullet to do it. And the plant is going to go down, and Crux gets a headshot on Mr. Slasher as Rafe goes down to Draco and is a 4v3.
The smoke is now down, although the one grenade just finishing up now. Diffuser is a little bit over 25% ticked down, and a nice shot from Breakfast. Causes one to go down, one getting refragged as well on that side, but no, a double kill from Draco to finish off the round.
Nope, that was D.
Or D, my bad. Yes.
Killing one down and then killing the next person who comes around the corner, pre-firing apparently into his head. That was a bit surprising.
A nice job choosing to pre-fire the angle there as well from D. Knowing that there was probably a rotate happening during the confusion, that or just realizing that the rotation was only coming from that one direction. Either way, good execute by D to take out those 2 kills.
Slasher's going to go ahead and add another notch to his kill count this map. And it's looking very good for Indiana. They just need 2 rounds. They need 2 defense rounds to go through. Meanwhile, Wisconsin needs to pull it back together with a full-on 5-round run back in order to win here.
Absolutely. Worth noting that defense side on IU looking a little bit different than what we saw from Wisconsin. Instead of Echo, they're bringing Maestro for the plant denial, choosing to bring the Vigil as well instead of the Legion for roaming. Those Valkyrie cams will definitely give them a little bit of intel as far as possibly where Wisconsin is planning to attack from. Not to mention giving them the ability to possibly get some good calls off early round, if not possibly a Nitro Cell from Valkyrie or a nice roam from Vigil or Jaeger.
Now this is interesting to me. At that spot over there, he chose to try and place the Evil Eye at the topmost spot he could. Is there any particular reason you see for that?
The reason that most Maestros will put their Evil Eyes at elevated positions means that Sledge can't actually walk up to it and hit it with a hammer. Which takes that ability off the board, not to mention it also makes it much harder for anyone with frag grenades such as Finka, Buck, or even Zofia impacts due to the arc that they follow to hit elevated angles. Looks like Akazi on the Zofia will actually have the drone coming inside of kitchen side, making their way towards the main section of the map, towards meeting room. That KS-79 lifeline will actually help out quite a bit with taking out those Maestro cameras as well. Crux already inside taking out some cameras and getting some roam clear going down. Actually not using the Jackal scanner quite yet.
I wonder who's upstairs. Is that Breakfast? That is Breakfast upstairs. He does take down a drone, and looks like it's him and Mr. Slasher roaming around. Mr. Slasher more kind of kind of defending the tower, try to stop any attackers from coming through. Meanwhile, Breakfast is getting hunted down here, is stuck in the closet in walk-in, but he's going to be able to impact and make his way out with a rotation. That is a little bit envious to people who usually don't have impact grenades in these situations. Get stuck in that closet.
Worth noting that Breakfast actually had an interesting angle set up using the destructible floor of Master Bedroom to actually watch towards the hatch and possibly prevent any thermite play there as well. Not to mention, possibly strat it out, but no, Akazi using the drone intel from earlier to take out Breakfast, they will now have control of the top floor.
I believe Breakfast was also being tracked there by the Jackal as well.
Looks like Akazi, if he pushes down just a little bit more, will see the Maestro cam on the wall above the laundry hampers. Looks like he's going to take the lifeline and take that out. The plant denial now completely gone from the drop into basement. Pre-firing a bit of the doorway towards the hallway. Not going to be able to connect anything, but no one there to get hit in the first place. Some smoke going down, but actually
D in a terrible situation, but he manages to make it out with just a little bit of health and through over the hatch too. What is D doing right now?
D, I believe, trying to rotate, get some smokes down. That's a risky position to pick against the staircase, and as I say that, Akazi takes out one, takes out a second.
Oh, and unfortunately...
Actually just almost getting a third, but no, getting picked up. Draco with the Alda getting some nice shots downrange. A little bit low on health, and it does get picked up by one. That will be Crux watching the hatch now, along with Brandon, watching a bit of the same angle, but it doesn't matter because Wraith picks up the kill onto Draco.
I believe that was from the hatch, too. With a really nice pixel peek right there. Oh, okay, he stands up and gets a better view anyways and shoots into the body.
Worth noting that with the release of Operation Burnt Horizon, Capitow's LMG actually got a little bit of a touch-up with receiving a new ACOG scope on it to match the one that Mozzie has, or Gridlock, on her M249. Does open up a little bit clearer of a sightline, which makes holding pixel angles like that just a little bit easier, so that Wraith was able to take such a small angle. Overall, a well-played attack by Wisconsin there. Well orchestrated as well. They did a good job of taking out the roamers early in the round. Akazi did a nice job of getting some pressure onto site early, taking out a double kill with about a minute left on the clock, giving them quite a large advantage as far as the people factor is concerned.
Oh. Apparently, that question I had earlier about where the Master Evil Eye was getting placed has another advantage. If the EMP is too low, it doesn't affect the Evil Eye at all.
Within, yes, Thatcher's EMP has a radius of about 5 meters. If you can get the Evil Eye above that, that's definitely good. But with the mid-season reinforcements that came out this season, Maestro's Evil Eye actually is opened up by Thatcher EMPs and Twitch drones when shocked or EMP'd, which means that you have the option to shoot it. However, if Maestro places that Evil Eye at a certain height, to a point where you can't actually see the opening in it, you can look straight up with Maestro's cam, which will prevent the Evil Eye from being shot from any angle, as long as the angle is not directly above.
That's a huge buff to Twitch drones, I believe.
It definitely is during the prep phase, but it just means that Maestros have to be more effective. Oh, Wraith getting a nice opening kill onto Mr. Slasher, a headshot.
I think it looks like Mr. Slasher was in garage and he got spotted out by a drone, and Wraith just fired in the direction that, you know, you'd expect somebody to be peeking from garage would be, and got the headshot. That's already very unfortunate for Indiana University. It's 4-2. Is that run back happening?
It is definitely possible. They have brought the score line a little bit closer, bringing it only to a 2-round difference. Courtside playing up inside of kids' dorms here, along with Draco playing just outside of that in the hallway, going to be trying to face off against Akazi, possibly making his way up through the attic, along with Crux there for backup, while Banana and Wraith attack from the other side of the map. Breakfast, however, is down on first floor that has not been dealt with yet. Some flashes coming in on D, but not actually going to get blinded.
What the situation is here. Banana Cat is watching Brandino's flank. D seems very poised to get the frag on whoever it is that pushes onto their end. It's going to get droned out, and the shots are going to ring off as Draco is trying to fight whoever is in armory. D, however, is currently fighting, and Crux is going to find Breakfast. Leave below. Yep, below. Meanwhile, doesn't see the Ying at first, but Brandino takes off D instead, and it's a 5-stack still alive for Wisconsin. It's looking better and better for them. Their chances with only 77 seconds to go. They've got to plant still. They're practically on site. They are practically on site. They just can't plant yet.
Worth noting, I believe that Draco does have some goo mines still possibly coming up later in the round, which means he can maybe take a couple angles off of his worry list, but he is waiting for those to recharge. I believe the Valkyrie still has their Nitro Cell as well, meaning that if they need to, they can chuck that down the hallway at a last-minute plant denial. Brandon doing a nice job of opening up the armory wall so that he has a nice long angle with that ACOG all the way down into his bedroom.
Draco
and
with
some shots.
Draco downs one, but Banana Cat behind him in the window takes him down and is now a 1v5. Courtside, the ball's on your court.
Some Ying Candelas going out here as Brandon starts planting.
Oh, but
shots coming out from courtside, but does get picked up.
And down he goes. Rafe going all the way into the bunks and finding Courtside from behind, flanking him appropriately and just giving him no shot at all at bringing the round back. 4-3. It's closer.
Once again, that scoreline is just getting ever so close to being in Madison's favor. Almost tied up here, assuming that they can take one more round. However, IU, also worth noting, is still only 2 rounds from winning the first map. Madison does have to bring it up by 2 more rounds with only losing 1 in the process to bring it to overtime should they want to do that route as well.
So right now, any 6 picks expected? Oh, it looks like we're going to get rid of the Valkyrie and swap over to a Jaeger device instead, possibly to try and counter Ying. Meanwhile, Rafe is going to go ahead and 6-pick onto Ying. It looks like it's not so much a surprise to Indiana that the Ying is going to get picked.
And also worth noting, the Jaeger pick, even though they didn't know about the 6-pick onto Ying, actually not able to take out Capital bolts, which means that they were either very confident that the Ying was coming out, or they really wanted to shut down Akazi with the lifeline.
Already near the next round. Next round is about to start. Doesn't look like I've seen Breakfast put down his Evil Eyes just yet. No, yeah, he still has both. He's putting one in the corner supply room. Is he going to put the other one over the laundry stairs, or
assuming that that evil eye gets droned out, it could be rather feasible for the Hibana to simply open up the hatch and then get that exploded by the lifeline without really ever exposing yourself to that Maestro Chem. Placement could be different, but I'm interested to see why Indiana put it there. I'm sure that they have a reason behind choosing a spot like that, and I believe it might be because they can shoot under the shelving units inside of that room.
It also makes it harder for Wisconsin to just so easily just flick off an impact grenade and take it down as easily as Akazi did last time.
It's like Akazi, speaking of which, is droning out second floor to try to remove some pressure off of Crux, as it'll make it a little bit easier for him to try to roam clear if he knows that the second floor is actually free of the pesky roamers that he is trying to deal with.
And it is rather free. In fact, you could have a vacation there from how empty it is. That was...
what a vacation that would be.
Mm-hmm. As much of a vacation as, you know, hanging out in a cult-like setting with a bunch of Oregonians with guns is.
Yes. Banana doing a nice job of droning out the basement here, trying to make sure that electrical is clear for any sort of push. Does realize that the door there is barricaded, will be able to use those Excaros pellets to open up inside of electrical closet and possibly get a nice angle through the filing cabinets into the closet, possibly all the way through into the basement hatch.
I believe all of Indiana's downstairs. Yep, they really are. They've just... Wisconsin has just used up about 1:50 seconds on making sure that there's nobody upstairs to go for the flanks. And it looks like they're going to go ahead and instead going to push through the backs to red.
Some shots ringing out towards the Jaeger here. Not quite connecting, but does get some pressure on Draco at just under half health. Taking a little bit of damage from it in early flank.
He's locked into this corner. He is completely locked in this corner and needs to fight back, and he's gonna get a little bit flash there. Gonna have to listen to it. Oh, and out goes the Ying. And courtside is gonna see through the wall. Mr. Slasher is gonna take down Akazi. Draco takes down Brandino, and somebody dropped. He tries to look around, but Crux from the flank takes him down and tries to go into the closet to the pantry to find Breakfast, but Breakfast rounds him off with the Alda. Slasher headshots Wraith, and it's down to 15 seconds.
Worth noting that the hipfire battle, just a little bit unfortunate for Crux there. Both were hipfiring from close distance. Shots ringing out from Banana Cat, not quite connecting on one. Does know about the second with the pistol coming out, but no, the Alda range superior. IU taking the round with a little bit of a wiggle.
And again, with the hipfire. That's 2 hipfire kills for Breakfast.
Playing at that close of an angle, I would be rather hard-pressed to tell them to ADS, especially with an ACOG at that range.
Oh, no, I'm just saying that those were 2 hipfire kills, and
yeah, absolutely, yeah. No, I'm just saying, Crux and Draco both had ACOGs at close range there, as did Banana and Draco as well. Mm-hmm. So picking that angle makes the Alda even more superior, just because you're fighting against a pistol and another person at crouch height. Which means that not only are you more likely to get a headshot, but you also have an LMG with 85 bullets and only 5 feet to use them. Overall, just a very favorable position for Draco to be in right there, and a little bit unfortunate that that push had to be forced.
Distribution a lot more even across the board here. Looking good so far for Indiana University to take us with this next round, but only time will tell, as they didn't manage to hold this last time. Sorry, wait. Yeah, they didn't manage to hold this last time, and Wisconsin showed themselves to be pretty prevalent at just destroying their defense here. Sorry, not destroying, disarming.
Very true. However, it seems like Indiana is setting up a similar strat, possibly some different positioning, however. Echo using his Yokai Cam to get on top of the dresser on the end of the hallway is going to keep it down low for now, just to make sure it's out of sight. Looks like he's checking just to make sure that it is as low profile as possible. Does still have one more to throw out later in the round, should he want to
What is he?
adjust
Oh,
that accordingly. So I might pick that one up and throw it back into the cabinet just to get a little bit more of an effect.
then we're gonna see maybe a little peek here. It's a little too late for that though, as... Oh wait,
It's
no,
a
he might
little
get
late.
Rangino, but Crux crosses off Slasher. This is not gonna be one of those movies anytime soon, apparently.
Worth noting that D did get a little aggressive with that pick. Going for the ACOG push on the spawn peak. It definitely could have resulted in a nice pick early on for them, but instead, Crux was able to fully favor and Wisconsin's side, taking out Slasher.
It should be noted that Wisconsin has just been taking consistently 2 hard breachers as opposed to a hard breacher and Thatcher. Or any
Yeah,
other sort of operator who specializes in taking out gadgets.
Right, and it seems like this round, even reinforcing that, not even bringing a secondary roam clear, actually bringing Monty instead to try to just doorway onto the site. Just becoming the door that they need to push. Doc getting some shots on Wraith, not actually choosing to extend his shield. That could turn out very poorly, and it does. Actually gonna get picked up. No, Doc just can't quite hit the shots. Instead, Brandon getting it down through the wall, doesn't actually know that due to the points not being present.
Banana Cat takes
However-
breakfast. Banana Cat takes courtside just from a flank right there. My god, what a man. He entered through the window and got them both.
Draco possibly getting a nice flank here and does pick up one onto Brandino.
Getting shot from
Possibly
below.
peeking for a second, but no, the Monty is extended at this point and does get picked up from behind. That'll make it just down to D on Echo with Akazi and the rest of it, Wisconsin, pushing up very quickly.
We've seen this before.
This is giving me flashbacks to the previous round, actually, exactly. Those Echo cams hopefully giving some intel, but doesn't look like it. Crux doing a nice job of
Crux, what are you
rotating.
doing? Crux!
He's going for the shotgun BM, not going to work out for him, deeping up the frag, but no, refragged as well on his side by Brandino.
I mean, it would have been pretty BM if he managed to get with the shotgun there, but at the same time, the action is happening. There was at least one call out happening for where he was in the bunks.
Alas, that does kind of happen. However, worth noting, this is match point for Indiana, my apologies. They might take this map, assuming they win the round, but on the off chance that Wisconsin uses their 200 IQ strats against Indiana's 200 IQ strats and comes out on top, they will put this map into overtime.
But Enrage, what
Yes.
if one of these teams pulls out a 201 IQ strat?
Well, that seems to be what we will be seeing this round, isn't it?
That is possible. That is very much possible. I just can't wait for the 420. No, wait, that was yesterday.
Unfortunate, truly unfortunate.
420 IQ strats on 420. Oh,
Looks like Wraith will be bringing the Monty again here as well. Akazi actually choosing to pull out the Blackbeard instead of the normal ops that are picked, such as Zofia, and also bringing a Thatcher this round on Banana Cat. Looks like that will be attempting to help the hard beach of Brandon, possibly attempting to get a bit more of a quick push through master bedroom and into closet wall. Looks like Slasher not repeating the same mistake as last round and reinforcing the wall that they were pre-fired through.
tell me, Enrage, what kind of sand do you find at a hard beach?
I'm not sure.
You're not sure? Okay, well, we'll just back off of that for a little bit and talk about the strategy happening here. They did bring a bandit. It looks like they're going ahead and tossing out a lot of denial because they brought both bandit and the mute. And they're gonna try to cross off some information along with trying to delay the hard breach. And just as I was saying last round when they were just taking full-on two hard breachers, Wisconsin is gonna go ahead and pick up the Thatcher as well. Change up their configuration, try to deal with the counter breach.
Breakfast getting set up inside a classroom here will give a little bit of pressure on the first floor. Granted, it is a little limited on what he can see and what he can't, but it looks like he does get a nice pixel angle. Does notice that there's two just outside of the door, based on the shots that were ringing through earlier. Being a little wide, trying to get an angle on a Banana. It looks like he does see him cross over, but not able to capitalize on it.
Oh, Breakfast is still downstairs. It looks like the attackers are just going to go ahead and ignore him. Well, Breakfast is watching for anybody to cross over. Can anybody play with Breakfast? Please?
Worth noting that Wisconsin's already all up on the second floor, which means Breakfast will have to rotate back if he wants to get one of the frags. Alternatively, you have to run out the front door, which will reveal his position. D also on first floor as Akazi picks up the first frag of the round onto court side.
Right there on white stairs. Not letting them have any fun at all as Crux opens up the window here into the bunks, trying to cross off anybody who might be hiding near the wall and lock down those angles. Not gonna find anybody just yet.
I appreciate that you use Glock down those angles because he is not only holding them but also shooting them.
I believe I missed up. And whoa, I mispronounced.
Wraith almost getting picked up by the frag from courtside, but no, not actually able to extend the shield in time. But a nice refrag from Slasher will take out one. A pick from the, I believe that was the Thatcher from Banana, taking up another.
Like Rafe is gonna try and plant here with the bandit coming around the corner just a little bit too soon. Akazi needs to get into position soon, otherwise, oh, the C4 almost takes down Rafe. And now he has to watch from below, just in case. Crux is gonna cross off D.
A couple too many angles to watch for Wisconsin here, just trying to keep that Monty alive and well. But they do have the numbers advantage, which means that they will be able to get a little bit aggressive with their plays. As I say that, Slasher picks up one. That's Brandon off the board. The plant coming down from the shield here. If that diffuser comes down, it'll be a good time for them. But no, Draco picks up another.
Does pick up another, and the shield saves the planter there, and the plant does get put down on the floor. Now, all Rafe has to do is try and get the kill here. And he's going to go for the aggressive push onto Draco, and Rafe is actually going to come out shining. It's the 5th round for Wisconsin.
Worth noting that that actually brings it to overtime for these two teams. They will now have to compete in a best of 3 to see who will come out on top, who will end this match with 7, and who will end it with 6.
So what you're saying is,
5.
What you're saying is we're playing a best of 3 inside a best of 3, and we go deeper.
That will come down to whether or not there's a 3v3 at the end of this round.
Ooh, that would be great.
That would be the best of 3 of 3 of 3.
Versus
a truly historic event. Yes, absolutely.
Matching all the 3s together. Well, let's see if the planets align themselves, and we actually manage to see that. Because as of right now, still 5v5. As per our rules, the team that started attacking will attack first on overtime.
6 pick off of the Blackbeard onto Jackal might give Madison a bit of a spook here. They do have to be worried about a possible face shield peeking those windows aggressively. But, in reality, it is instead the Jackal who will be trying to track them based on their footprints.
Wisconsin is first up to bat on the fence on this overtime period. Oops. Apologies. I just hit my mic when...
Looks like some reinforcements going down, trying to bunker down on site. Get a little bit of lockdown set up on Master Closet. Looks like a possible mute jammer getting put down there as well.
I find this rotation from Attic a little bit interesting, as it not only has like a little hole for going in and out of, they've also gone ahead and taken the time to open up sight lines so that they know if somebody's watching and try to counter any sort of peeks onto it.
I think that's based around the ACOG that they're playing on Crux. I think that might be to try to get those longer angles set up all the way from back, and it looks like that might actually be the case. They'll be trying to hold outside and also into Master.
A little bit counterintuitive though, because he's gonna have to be turning from one to the other often, unless he, has somebody watching his flank for him. It might be that he gets seen by the drone here. I don't think they've seen him though.
Breakfast just staying outside the range of those mute jammers, making sure to keep his drone alive to get as much intel off of that as possible. Seeing that it's clear, is going to break into Master Bedroom and push a little bit up. Looks like Crux not hearing those sound cues just yet, and will be trying to take a little bit more of an aggressive angle onto the window outside of Kid's bedroom. Thatcher already doing a good job opening up clearing the electronics off of closet wall as Thermite goes to open that up. That'll be a very early open for them, just over a minute into the round, assuming that goes off. But no, Akazi takes out Slasher. That is the Hibana off the board, and a little bit of roam clear all the way in basement. D getting a nice refrag onto Crux.
Actually finding him this time. Looks like Crux wasn't watching that, as D has no damage on him, so it might have been that Crux was watching the attic windows instead. And it looks like we're gonna go for another push here. And Rafe is not going to... He tries so hard, and he gets so far, but in the end, that impact doesn't even matter.
Does have the shotgun there for a repeat of the last time, but no, not going to happen. He does get downed by, I believe, some shots through the floor.
And D is going to cross him out. Kazi refrag onto courtside, and it's going to be 50 seconds left. 3v3 on a BO3 on a BO3! Sorry.
It really did happen. What are the odds? Smoke coming out from his support there. I believe that's Draco. Plant starting to go down from D. Banana Cat getting down from down the hallway by Breakfast, pushing up onto White Stairs, but no, refragged by Akazi. Actually outside the map, or outside of the building currently, does get picked up by D as he is completely revealed by being outside. Claymore going down as well. We'll be covering the diffuser, but no, Draco able to take out the headshot onto Brandon, securing the round for Indiana.
The quadruple threes happened, and it was oh so glorious, as that was a very satisfying gunfight, but Indiana University is going to come out on top in there.
Overall, just a roller coaster of a round, constantly rocking back and forth between who had the advantage. At first, it seemed like with all the long angles and all of the defense setups, it was Wisconsin, then it was Indiana as they started to push towards site, but then Wisconsin brought it back a little bit, trying to get some quick frags, a lot of picks coming out. Indiana just ending that one on top as soon as the diffuser got put down.
Definitely good coordination on both ends, because it... I don't have words. Sorry.
Yes.
Good coordination between both teams. In the end, it came down to a 3v3. Refrags going around everywhere. In the end, it turned into a 2v1. Oh my god, the last fight was a 3-man fight. That was the round of threes. That was the round of threes, ladies and gentlemen.
Looks like instead of the setup they were running last time, they will be bringing Maestro this time, choosing to go back down to the basement, bringing both Maestro and Echo for the maximum amount of plant denial possible. Looks like Breakfast going to be setting up his Evil Eye on top of the washer instead here. I'm actually not sure if that can block the plant, if that's the objective of that. If not, then it's still a good spot, very hard to take out from both the hatch and the staircase.
I believe we've seen the spot for the Evil Eye before, and I don't think it does stop you from planting there.
No, but it does give a nice height advantage.
It does.
Looks like Akazi getting his drone inside of small tower, making sure that no one's going to come running down the hallway. Although if they do, that will be a nice easy pick at the start of the round for Madison. Draco getting some barricades set up to accompany his goo mines, making sure that they slow down the attackers as much as possible. Some shotgun work coming out from Slasher, trying to open up that bottom of the wall so the Thermite can't plant anything on it.
But I think he still can on the right corner right there, and it'll still... Yeah.
Yep, should still be able to. An impact grenade or just a little bit more time spent with the shotgun would have secured that. Albeit, that would be a little bit tough, seeing that they already had 30 seconds going into the round.
I believe the actionable area for that trick to work on the hatch is as long as you have even like a small part of the exothermic charge blowing up next to the hatch, it'll open it.
Yeah, you don't need a whole lot of area, but you do need some, and I think that's exactly what they got left. And then doing a nice job taking out that camera, using the EMP from Thatcher to get that open. However, Brandon not going to care at all about the Thermite trick, just going straight for the hatch. Looks like he does realize that it is still not quite available. Does hit it now. Ash will be opening up, putting courtside in a very unfavorable position and immediately getting picked up by Crux.
Unfortunate. That is the first pick of the round. 130 in. Where are... Oh, meanwhile, right now we're going to see Banana Cat trying to push the back as Rafe is already in the hallway trying to stay alive. And behind him, the wall opens up. He's trying to spot where to point his shield towards so he doesn't get blown to pieces.
Doesn't seem to be aware of the person just behind the shelving cabinet, but actually making it through just in time to avoid getting shot. Does have that door open now after a little bit of punching technicalities.
Oh my lord, Crux trying to plant there. Not gonna die just yet. Crosses off the Legion, however. Draco goes down, and it's down a 2v5. Doesn't look like this round is gonna go to Indiana at all. He does finally down the Monty, but into the closet. Brandino fires shots, and Wisconsin will go to 6-6.
I almost had flashbacks to the first time that the Maestro was pushed inside of that room, but instead the Titan was toppled by the magazine size of his Alda, having to reload at a very inopportune moment.
Oh my lord, we're going for full rounds here.
This is 100% the max amount of rounds that can be played on this map. Bring it 6-6, Indiana versus Wisconsin to take home map 1.
Enrage, if you ever have to cast a 20-round map,
I'll be there.
You'll be there, but afterwards, we're gonna need some drinks after that. No way.
My throat will not exist, but I will be there.
You will be there, and then we're going to hand it off to whatever other casters are there because we'll be dead.
Yep. No, map one, I'm leaving. If it's 22 rounds, I'm going.
I'm also gone.
All right, 6 picks. Let's see. We've got a Jackal and a Valkyrie coming out. Looks like Indiana going to be playing a bit more roam clear, while Wisconsin plays a bit more for intel. Actually, Wisconsin choosing to take second floor this time around, as they did win their defense on basement.
It's true. No, I thought they won here.
You might be right.
Yeah, they won here, and then it was Wisconsin.
Or no, Indiana won second floor.
Oh yeah.
Stay clear of his line of fire.
Crux putting some ADSs to cover, looks like master window, the window just outside of Kid's bunk, and one last one to cover the hallway window from attic. Overall, just trying to take out as many of the options as possible. Looks like they might actually devote someone to playing inside of master bedroom just to deal with that avenue as well. Draco doing some pre-fires through the window, possibly getting some early damage, if not a headshot if lucky. Breakfast doing his job of getting onto site from the other side as well.
Moment, not much going on. It should be noted that Akazi is in the basement instead. Finding the wrong site? No, just kidding. Akazi possibly roaming, trying to use that ACOG to the best of their ability to get a head shot.
Looks like Draco still holding that long angle just outside of Small Tower. We have seen quite a few picks this game come out from that hallway alone. Still a good idea to pull it, but instead going to move upwards, focused a bit more on site as he thinks that it's clear, and move a little bit towards an actual site execute. D choosing this time to start pushing from the main door as well.
Draco's still watching for any roamers. Not going to find them there, though, as Akazi is still in the laundry room, possibly getting his clothes out of the dryer. He's going to push up the stairs to peek out and see if there's any attackers trying to stop him from using the good dryer sheets.
And it looks like the mission to retrieve those freshly washed Rook sweaters will actually not quite turn out for him. Crux doing a nice job of holding meeting hall as well. Looks like he does know that one's there, getting some nice shots and actually managing to take him out.
Draco goes down.
Looks like, as we saw from the subtitles there, Thermite making a nice job of making a big hole. Whereas Wraith getting pinched by the asphyxiation bolts. Capitao, fire raining down, brimstone, and all. As Banana takes out a nice shot onto D, a headshot with that SMG-11 will drop the diffuser. Capitao going to retrieve.
Well, the prophecy has been has been fulfilled, and Kazi has come back from his flank as Banana Cat takes down Breakfast, and it is down to just Quartzsite and Mr. Slasher. Quartzsite sees the Legion, doesn't fire, and sorry, Mr. Slasher doesn't sees the Legion. Oh, and there is Banana Cat. Down he goes. 2v4, 35 seconds. It's looking good for Wisconsin right now. They need to just hold the diffuser and everything will be Gucci.
Looks like Slasher doing his best to try to aggressively but safely make his way out of Kid's bedroom.
Right, picks up one.
Picked up.
And Brandino picks off Quartzsite, giving the first map to Wisconsin.
Looks like some accidental GGs coming out from both sides here. Unfortunately for them, there are still 2 more maps to play. It is not GG yet.
We're asking them if they want the 5-minute break or to keep going. And they are going to take it. So we're going to transition off into caster chat time. So, what do you think teams could improve on going on in the next map?
That's a tough one. Both teams did really well, honestly. Every single time that I thought that something was going to happen, they completely blew my expectations out of the water and just came up with something crazy and out of left field. If I thought they were going to push, like, oh, it's going to be a heavy master push, turns out they're sending 2 people through a kid's bedroom rappelling on the windows, because why not? And it worked. So, I don't know. Honestly, these strats are a little bit harder to read than I was expecting. I think that they are both well thought out, and I think that both teams have very well established roles. It seems like they're mainly picking around each other's flexibilities, and I'm glad that I'm seeing that. It means that these teams play with each other a decent amount, and they know what each other are trying to do each round. It means that they can work with a bit of autonomy, and that's exactly what you want in a game like Siege. You want a team, but you also want them to be able to work alone if they need to.
Well, going on into the next map, do you think that losing a choked out 6-7 is going to affect Indiana?
I think you'd be hard-pressed to call it a choke. Indiana definitely didn't drop the ball that game. They really gave it a good shot, and they definitely gave Madison a run for their money. Madison just able to make that comeback happen little by little, slowly taking the lead. But I think Indiana, on Coastline, I think they'll be doing a nice job. We've seen Wisconsin play Coastline, we've seen Indiana play Coastline. They're both definitely competent on the map. I think it'll come down to which team has more prevalence, and that will be what we see.
Well, we're shifting over from a defense-focused map to an attack-focused map, Coastline. You have any expectations of what's going on, what's going to be going on there?
As far as Coastline's concerned, I think we'll be seeing a lot of Huga holds as well as Kitchen holds. Those seem to be the 2 most popular sites right now.
Mm-hmm.
As far as attack strategies, that's kind of all over the place. We've seen both teams play a little bit less than meta strats, which makes it honestly more eventful for them, just because they have the ability to say, all right, we're not doing what they're expecting, we're doing what we're comfortable with, which not only gives them their own home field advantage, but it puts their enemies off guard.
That is true. What's funny to me, the fact that competitive players will enter a ranked match or a casual match and just be completely taken aback by the strategies used against them. It's just completely different mindsets, and it really shows.
Yeah, and I mean, one thing I've noticed from both playing with people in the league, in ranked or casual or whatnot, is that the ops that people play in ranked, for the most part, are similar, but a lot of people actually play different ops in ranked than they do in competitive matches like this.
Mm-hmm. Would you say that in ranked, people tend to focus on their own individual strength, as opposed to, as in a competitive setting, that like you have instead the team mindset and the set of people that you're supposed to be playing with?
I think that most people, when they play ranked, at least from what I've seen in the league, play ranked with their team, which is, it's a good way to practice, for sure. at the same time, I think that most of them also do, for the most part, play a little bit alone, and I think that's what helps build that self-reliance that I was talking about a little bit earlier.
Mhm.
And I think it's that good split of playing both as a team, but also as a solo player that allows you to be that well-rounded teammate that everyone's looking for.
I tend to agree, even though as much ranked as I play with people and ranked play alone, I don't seem to get any better.
I mean, it's something that comes with the amount of practice that these teams have. They're putting in the effort to have the full rosters. They're definitely not on the casual side of things. They're playing in a competitive league. They're putting in the effort. They're putting in practice, and they're in the top 4 teams in Open. So, I mean, they know what they're doing, at the very least.
Go ahead and ask if they are done with their break or if they are ready to go. It's like Wisconsin is ready to go. Indiana is ready to go. We're going to be... I can't speak today. It's Sunday. It's Easter Sunday. Here we all are.
Indeed Easter Sunday. Hopefully everyone's enjoying their honey ham, their Easter eggs, their peeps, and all that.
I don't like honey ham. It's a little bit too sweet for me.
All right. Well, Duke will not be joining us for the rest of the cast. No. No, but I do hope everyone's having a good Easter. Hopefully we are all sitting down and enjoying the day. I know I'm definitely enjoying this match, and what a close round map 1 was. 6-7. Man. Either way, heading into map 2, IU starting out on defense this time around, banning Buck. That'll be removing a lot of the vertical play. Any sort of hopes that Madison might have had of breaking out the floor of Hookah or breaking out VIP floor to watch Kitchen will be relying solely on attackers with either a hammer, such as Sledge, or the more aggressive shotguns, such as if you, for some reason, wanted to play Sledge with a shotgun, or Thatcher with a shotgun. I'm not really sure why you would, but you can. Alternatively, that leaves it open to people with breach charges. Alternatively, you could bring something like a Blackbeard. He's got breach charges and the face shield, makes him very good for vertical play.
Nomad's gonna get crossed off here again by Wisconsin, and Mira once again is getting banned, but this time it's Wisconsin's ban, actually. Last time it was Indiana that banned Mira, and it's looking like they are the ones saying, no. We're not gonna have the Mira meta on this map right now. Or instead...
I think taking that out of the mix might be a little bit favored towards a Penthouse hold. We've seen that be played a lot, just the double Mira on Theater watching Penthouse gives very strong hold on the drop from Hatch, and also on the VIP Hall of Fame.
And down goes Echo as well, so that's going to be 4 ops off the board. We're not going to be seeing them for the foreseeable future. Maybe next map, if we get there. Reminder that Wisconsin just needs to win this map to win this matchup.
True, while IU has to take both this map and the next to bring it back. Assuming that is the case, we could possibly see upwards of another 26 rounds being played today. However, that's assuming both maps go to maximum overtime, which would be definitely an interesting case. Looks like starting out here, IU will be heading to Hookah and Billiards, possibly the strongest side on this map, but a disconnect here. Looks like a rehost being called by Courtside. We'll be heading out to that rehost to pick up the last player, and hopefully get this match restarted.
Oops, that is the wrong scene. There we go. We'll be going into a brief intermission to get this set up. Okay, we're out for a little bit. I got him. Gosh. Oh. I'm gonna shut up now because we weren't out. I wasn't out. Hi, people. Bye, people. And we're back. We are about to start it back up. Yeah, so go ahead.
Looks like everyone getting back into the match will be ready to go. Coastline bands are already set up. We will be heading into round 1. I believe IU is setting up on Hookah, and they will be getting ready to defend that. Seeing as to whether or not the picks are different is the big question here.
The rehost was called before the end of the pick phase, so they are allowed to pick does not be same. Yes, it does not be same.
Yes, of course.
That is the official wording now. Does not be same.
Yeah, everyone in Siege knows that when you're in a custom game, you look for the message "does not be same."
Yes,
that's just what you need.
It really is. It really do be that way.
Everybody needs a "does not be same" sometimes.
Oh, and it looks like courtside is gonna be Maestro, trying to be same.
Trying to be same,
yes.
But instead that 6th pick just slightly putting it off, and will be giving them a bit of plant denial. Moving into round 1. Looks like Breakfast doing a reinforcement on both walls, watching towards the double door into billiards from VIP. Going to be taking out any sort of long angles that might be played from VIP balcony. Looks like Draco doing a job of reinforcing the aquarium walls as well, cutting off a very long sight line there should they choose to play it. Rotate hole coming out between sites, commonly seen there. No reinforcements there either. Maybe a possible rotate hole being made on the blue stairs.
Breakfast doing? I think he's pondering about the meaning of life at the moment, just at that corner right there. It is a very important corner in this map, as a lot of stuff happens in that particular place.
Yeah, absolutely. And looks like, whoa, wow, alright, Crux wasting no time getting aggressive and pushing inside of Blue Bar already, making his way towards Cool Vibe stairs. Not actually anyone there to back him up. Currently no footprints there to scan either. The area of the map seems to be rather dead. Banana doing a interesting rappel shimmy there outside of VIP, trying to get some sightlines. While Brandino drones them in. Ooh. Looks like he does see the Vigil set up just in the corner in Hall of Fame. Not gonna ping him, instead calling it out to his teammates, keeping the drone as disguised as possible.
Is Banana Cat gonna go for it? Can you even see him from that corner?
I believe that would be a no, but the angle does get peeked in this. A nice shot.
That is nasty.
Very nice headshot there coming out as Wraith makes his way down towards the penthouse window, trying to get an angle there to pinch off anyone that might be playing inside of theater.
Crux ever patient.
As well.
So much patience.
Yes, nearly a minute and 15 seconds spent on this angle, only discounting the time it took to actually blitz into the building. Banana taking a bit of damage, but a nice good amount of damage already put onto Slasher. Looks like some dock heals coming out from the stim. Crux still watching that angle though, which might actually net them a kill and a use of that dock stim. Only one dock stim actually left to be used this round. Kazuya got Gumined a little bit. That'll be a sound cue for Legion to sort of start washing towards luggage, but not going to get overly aggressive and peek an angle against an ACOG, while Wraith picks up one with the AK. That'll be the Maestro off the board already. Very good pick, as there's now no plant denial besides Legion's Gumines. Camera going down from Akazi after a little bit of a whiff there. Jumps out onto the balcony, choosing to fall back instead of trying to pick a fight against Legion. Long angle being held from Wraith against the, I believe that's Jaeger. It might be Doc. Hard to tell the outline from this distance, but Akazi shooting through the floorboards instead, trying to get some vertical play going. Those pings are just a little bit stale, going a little bit off their mark.
And Draco gets one. Draco tries to get the second one, but Banana Cat will cross him off with a refrag, and Crux will find Mr. Slasher, making it a 1v4. D is now holding B-side on his own. D's gonna try to look down the hallway, get concussed twice, and now going to have to contend with 2 attackers pushing him at the same time. But instead, the 3rd attacker that we didn't see comes in from Billiards and takes down D.
Well played by Madison first round. Wraith did a great job of picking off some early frags. The great headshot from Banana at the start of the round, accompanied by the corresponding drone work from Brandon. Although Iowa did have a good, or Indiana, I keep saying Iowa because I was just there, Indiana has a good setup there as well, choosing to get a lot of people on site, trying to get a bit more of those aggressive peaks, especially playing the Vigil towards the VIP side of things, but it seems like Wisconsin was ready for that and was able to take it out.
There wasn't anyone particularly the hero in that round, but Wisconsin did a very good job of clearing site and pushing in.
The drone work was definitely something to note there and not be counted out. The drone work helped a lot with picking up some of those frags, notably the early frag that Banana got onto the Vigil, but also as well being able to drone out Vigil, or not Vigil, Legion, and take him out of Aquarium as well. Well, moving on to round 2, it looks like a very similar setup from both of these teams. Identical ops on Madison's side, with instead choosing to bring the Mute instead of Maestro on Indiana. Looks like choosing to go to Penthouse side as well. That mirror ban will affect them a little bit as they cannot watch the drop as easily as they could have before. But it looks like those Mute jammers will be used instead to try to deny any sort of breaching potential inside that way. Worth noting that no one actually has any utility effective to break the bottom of the bathroom wall, watching towards VIP, unless the Mute brought shotgun, which I don't believe I saw.
No, he does not have shotgun.
So that means that unless the Vigil wants to use the no longer existing impacts to break open rotations, that will be no way to watch the drop at all, unless they want to get very aggressive on that peak.
Well, Crux is going to go back to his position last round already. That I think he got some time from that one.
I believe so as well.
Excuse me.
30 seconds here into the round. Crux already inside watching that angle. One drone going down for Akazi, but he does have an approximate location on Vigil. Choosing to lean a little bit close to the wall, making sure to protect his head. As Wraith tries to get inside of Hookah, they've already droned that out and confirmed that it's clear. Breakfast in a very bad spot. And try to get in the rotation hole, does pick off some shots on Wraith, but not quite hitting them. Does have to reload already, but Crux not quite capitalizing on it. Doesn't seem to realize that Vigil's just through the wall, actually getting it the shot now. Looks like he's gonna go for the pre-fire, but no, instead peeking it out. Akazi getting the pick instead as Slasher picks up Crux.
So good refrag right there, catching him off guard by coming in from through the flank of Aquarium, crossing him out, getting rid of the roam clearer, and it's now going to be a little bit easier for Akazi, for Mr. Slasher to push around.
Worth noting that Wisconsin does have site wall open to try to push on later on in the round should they want to get that plant down behind the master bed. But the Indiana team does have 3 people on site ready to try to stop that. Looks like Brandon moving his drone inside of site, trying to get a little bit of intel as Banana and Akazi make their way through Aquarium, trying to get into luggage and possibly get some site pressure coming from White Stairs. Brandon already inside of master bedroom, making sure that he has the intel that he needs. The Thatcher going down, however, a double from Indiana with the Nitro and the pick from Valkyrie will actually put that quite in favor of Indiana, and as I say that, that will be courtside taking out Brandon on the Thermite. That round going to Indiana. 1-1 right now, moving into round 3. Seems to be a rather even matchup on Coastline as well. We could be looking at a possible another 6-7 to determine who will take map 2 home.
Maybe we won't get 22 rounds on a single map. Maybe we're going to get 39 rounds on 3 maps.
That would be quite the interesting outcome, assuming that is the way it plays out. Looks like a rook being pulled out here from breakfast instead, as they switch back to the Maestro, instead bringing Castle. Castle will do a little bit of work, possibly taking out some of the impacts from the lifeline on Wraith. Also, if assuming IQ brings breach charges, that could be a use of that utility as well, but no, picked off to Valkyrie, as Crux picks off to Dokebi. Those calls will actually give a little bit more pressure onto roam hunting, means that they won't have to send 3 people after the Vigil this time. Granted, there is no Vigil, but it will probably be replaced by Slasher on the Jaeger.
So, it doesn't look like there's much to write home about in this defense. It's pretty much your bread and butter of trying to hold billiards. Got your middle reinforcement to secure the rotation from hookah into billiards. You've got your 4 reinforcements facing the rooftops, which if you don't use, well,
Granted, it's worth noting that Wisconsin has yet to bring a Hibana here, which means that if they want to take out that wall, they need to repel the thermite upside down, doing a little bit of acrobatics as he delicately but firmly places explosives while upside down, hanging by a rope on a wall on the 2nd floor of a building.
Is thermite capable of delicate yet precise movement? I don't believe so.
I would hope so, assuming that he works with explosives. But it looks like we'll have to check if he can actually start to soleil that wall if he wants to. It looks like we'll be figuring that out later in this round, as he's currently on drone, clearing out VIP and Hall of Fame for his teammates.
It should be noted that Crux did switch off of Jackal here and gave it to Akazi instead, and is going to be watching for people above him.
Looks like Brandon does have a little bit of an intel, assuming that Jackal track is helping out.
Oh,
They
looks
do
like
know one is playing inside a white. I believe that's the rook.
that is the Rook, who managed to leave, I think, because he had an impact hole. Yep, in penthouse. Sorry, theater. Is trying to stay alive.
Watching that, almost walking into a pre-fire there and getting taken out instead.
I think he just got shot by Slasher. I think there was just some friendly fire right there, and it's good that that didn't end in a kill, but at the same time, he's left at 1.
I mean, to be fair, you've got the ACOG, you've got the MP5, you're 1 health in a dream. I couldn't have asked for a more enticing opportunity for the Rook to prove himself as the peak Rook player.
The peak Rook player doesn't even take a single bullet, that he doesn't even need his now washed sweater.
He doesn't even need his armor, he's that confident.
Oh.
Banana, however, holding a very tight angle onto the hallway just outside of Hookah, as D has a little punch hole set up. Looks like some pre-fire is going to be shot that way as well. Gonna have to fall back and possibly look through the drone hole to see if he can get some damage.
Buck's pushing in this way, gets gooed a little bit, and Akazi's gonna have to watch as the goo gets taken out of Crux's leg. It looks like most of Wisconsin is trying to funnel in through Aquarium at the moment, and Rafe is gonna try to push up, firing off a bit of an impact, firing off a concussion.
Opening up some rotations. It'll be getting those long angles set up. Some smoke coming out from the Dokebi and some EMPs coming out from the Thatcher. We'll try to get that set up.
Down goes courtside.
Smoke.
Down goes breakfast.
Whoa, Wraith getting nice shots.
Slasher takes refrags onto Rafe, and Draco is going to take some damage here, but not going to go down just yet. Takes down Brandino. It's a 3v3. Diffuser is down on the floor, and Crux takes down Mr. Slasher. Draco fires around the corner, tries to get him down, but Crux takes down D. Crux takes down Draco. Turks takes down everyone.
Crux, I believe, with a triple just to finish that off. If not, I don't think he got one of the kills earlier in the round, but still clearing out 60% of the team by himself. Just getting that nice flank off, especially that late into the round while they were busy worrying about the diffuser. Well played by Crux.
The entire thing came down to a slightly chaotic gunfight. I will say it was chaotic because I didn't even know that Crux was at that point. I may have mistaken him for one of the teammates coming into trying to take back the site, but no. He did a good job of just outright crossing off every single defender that was hoping to retake site.
And that gunfight at the end was very well placed for Madison as well. They had one person behind the reinforced wall that was left inside of Aquarium. They knew that IU had to push that, and they used that to their advantage, instead drawing some attention with some very aggressive peeks. And you know what? It worked out. It got Crux in. He was there undetected, got the triple kill, got out, and that was a round.
Got a lot of headshots for his trouble there. Especially with the, well, it was close range, so I guess it shouldn't be surprising that he'd get so many headshots with the SMG-12. It was very badly nerfed with the recoil changes.
Yeah, but they've been somewhat brought in line with the other SMGs at this point. Still a little bit low, but not stopping him from getting the nice triple. Looks like IU will be using this round to move into kitchen. Looks like same picks coming out from Madison here. I was expecting to see possibly a shield play if they had predicted the kitchen. Because the shield push inside of delivery can be so strong when executed. But based on what I've seen this map, I'm not surprised that they chose to stick with it. It's been working for them, and I think that they're going to make it work again.
Rock's doing a little bit of, target practice.
Just trying to take out those default cams and possibly some pots and pans that could be found outside. Wraith doing a little bit of drone work, choosing to break open the hatch and send the drone in from a different angle as a distraction. Breakfast doing a little bit of camera work, but can't be too lax, as he does have both Crux and Wraith pushing him. Does have his buddy Slasher there to help back him up. Looks like Crux not just hearing him, does fall back into the hallway after taking a bullet. Will put Slasher on edge, and looks like Slasher will rotate out. But then again, flash the Jackal track, however, on the other side, Wraith picking up the kill through the wall onto Breakfast.
Slasher's gonna take down Crux. Not managed to get that luck on those headshots again on the SMG-12, and now it's gonna be an even 4v4. Still trading blow to blow to blow.
A thermite charge on a wooden ceiling.
It works. It works.
We'll be there to take out a decent chunk of area. That'll open up some vertical play. And looks like either some breach charges, some shotgun work from Jackal, or the lifeline taking out some health and a little bit of concussion onto D. Akazi getting a nice pick onto Slasher, while the other is picked up as well.
Wraith takes on Draco. Banana Cat takes down Courtside, and it is down to just D. Still chilling in the bathroom, taking care of some second business.
And it looks like D is going to be the last one left here. 1v4 scenario does have to worry about a lot of vertical angles to watch as well. Does, however, have time to his advantage with the diffuser having to get put down. But at this place in time, he is droned out and has to worry about a possible diffuser. Looks like that's exactly what's happening right now. Some free fire coming out. They do know where he is, and the shots just connecting for Brandino, taking the round for Wisconsin.
And wow, the the Maestro clip was not a match for Brandino's aim there, trying to get the head, but it was such a tight angle that just, being a little bit more reserved and picking your shots won the gunfight there.
Absolutely, and it seems like Madison has really gotten their feet under them this map. They're establishing a pretty dominant lead compared to the lead that they had on them previously. Seems like they have a bit more of an understanding of what Indiana is trying to do here, and they seem to be fitting a bit more into their groove. Indiana, however, does have the option to pull this back exactly like what we saw in the last map, and I wouldn't be surprised if Indiana does have the potential to do that. They're a good team, and they're picking ops well. They've got a good setup. They have a good setup that is set up, and they just need to put a little bit more emphasis on holding it, I would say.
True. Going into round 5, this is Indiana's last chance to defend and get a point off in order to close that gap. But, as I said earlier, this is an attacker-sided map. being an attacker-sided map, it might be that once Indiana starts attacking, they may run back like Wisconsin did last map.
And absolutely is that on the table. We have seen the history of Coastline be a very interesting one. It used to be extremely defender-sided to the point where Penthouse was one of the strongest sites in the game, then it shifted to Hookah, then it shifted to Kitchen and Sunrise.
And then,
now it's shifted all the way to attacking side. This map has seen it all.
This map was added, what, 2 years ago? More than 2 years ago?
Back in Operation Velvet Shell in year 2.
I think that's when I first started playing the game, actually.
Yeah, it's amazing to think that year 4 season 1's already almost done, and this map is still one of the most prevalent competitive maps out there. Looks like Crux actually playing in Ash this time. Doesn't have the ACOG on that R4C anymore, but still making a difference. Is going to be pushing inside of Blue Bar, trying to get some picks off.
Breakfast's going to be playing a little bit of a lean game here behind the bedroom. Sorry, the bed. Bedroom bed. A lot of redundancy happening today.
Yeah, a lot of words that can be said both as an adjective and as a noun. But that is how English works. It's one of those weird languages that you just kind of deal with. And looks like, as I say deal with, Wisconsin is trying to figure out how to deal with their push onto site. They aren't really that close quite yet. Looks like Indiana, however, is almost entirely fallen back onto site with just D out in the hallway, sitting where the vase used to be. Looks like he does have the audio cue on the two Madison players on stairs, and a nice shot onto Akazi will take him out. Although the call out will go out that he is in vase. Looks like Crux there with the Ash, not choosing to pick an angle against that ACOG from the distance that he's at.
I have to say, Enraged, that angle was a work of art.
It really was.
Oh, but from behind, another work of art happens as D gets picked off by Banana Cat.
Device is going down.
I guess you could say Terra got it. That was very much a stretch, I'm sorry. Brandino doing a good job of opening up the master wall, but no,
he had
getting
time?
tricked. Getting tricked by the bandit instead. Looks like trying to sound cue bait the bandit out, but no. A quick pick from Valkyrie will take that off the board. Thermite charge does get blown open as the Zofia of Wraith gets 1. It'll be just down to Slasher, Courtside, and I believe Draco left to secure this round. Brandino doing a nice job of getting some angles set up inside, but no, Crux actually goes down in the hallway, going to human drone scuttle his way out of there. Plant going down from Brandino behind the bed as Wraith picks up another kill with the Zofia, getting another headshot onto Draco. It'll be off the board, and that leaves it just up to the Jagger of Slasher against 2. But Brandon does have to pick up Crux, which means that the Diffuser will be left unguarded for now. Keeping that angle against the Jagger does have only 20 health now left on Crux to try to fight this off.
20 to
Crux
20.
has to play for time.
One bullet ends this. Crux takes off Slasher's chest?
He takes off something and it wins him the round, and that's what's important.
That is what is important. It looked like it was about to be a headshot, but instead it registered as the neck instead.
Yep, the notorious shoulder shot leading up to the head. But that was all he needed, and it did work out for them. The rounds now have switched, or the sides now have switched, with Wisconsin now playing on defense. They do have a 3-round lead, deja vu of map 1, but in reverse. However, we do have to note that Indiana does now have the advantage. They are playing on the favored side on this map. They have the ability to take it back. However, worth noting once again for those who might be tuning in or unfamiliar with our rule set, Wisconsin needs to get to 6 to win, so which means they need to take 2 rounds.
We are moving to round 6. What does this mean in change of mindset for each team? Well, once you switch over to the fence, you usually want to focus on gadget placement, and that usually is more or less the end of your coordination, unless you want to exercise some sort of trap to try and get onto, try to cut off an attacker's route and either take him off the, take him off the board or make him reroute to another place. Or, yeah, go on.
Worth noting on Coastline, defense comes down to a decent amount for plant denial. Your main objective is to waste their time. On coastline, defense has a very hard time getting picks on a good amount of the second floor sites, just due to the amount of exterior angles you have to deal with. Aquarium can pose a big threat to people who don't have the most pinpointed aim. VIP can be a death sentence for anyone who's not properly set up. However, assuming that you have the teamwork and coordination to get those angles working the way you want them to, it can be a very strong way to hold that. But that is part of the reason why this map is attacker-sided.
The attackers Indiana has gone ahead and already used one impact grenade onto the bedroom wall, the billiards window. Having a bit of a brain meddling there. And we're going to see Crux try to roam downstairs. Only 2 floors to this map. I actually find this very interesting that a 2-floor map is in the meta for competitive.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, most of the maps we see have either 2 floors and a basement, or 2 floors and a portion of 3rd floor, but no. Oh, Crux getting a nice slow peeking angle, actually gonna take out Thermite, almost getting Capital, but no, getting taken out instead, half health. Courtside picks up another one for his time. That's Brandon off the board.
Oh my lord, that wasn't that wasn't Crux's kills, that was D's kill. Sorry, that was Akazi's kill onto D from below with the C4. Amazing.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yes.
Wow.
Oh boy.
That's entirely unfortunate then. Just really unfortunate coordination there. However, worth noting that without the hot breach, they now have no way to actually open up that aquarium wall.
How did Thermite's body get in here?
Thermite operates in mystical ways as to C-Force. They have the ability to either crash games or send people through the corporeal realm.
Apparently.
I don't quite understand, but I believe that After Science wants to have a word with them.
Akazi has taken down Mr. Slasher, and it is down to a 3v3. Unfortunately, it's not during a best of 3 in a best of 3.
Unfortunately, not the scenario this time around. However, the Valkyrie is getting Jackal tracked. And it looks like Breakfast is going to be going for a plant setup here. It does have the smokes there, but alas, smoke on Wisconsin actually going to be setting up to try to deny those plants. Kazi getting a little bit aggressive. The plant actually getting dropped as the smoke grenade does take out a Breakfast, leaving it in a 2v3 scenario. Kazi getting very aggressive with this peek under the pool table as one gets picked up, but a refrag from them, and a shotgun kill to finish it off. Wraith getting a nice finishing kill here. Does pull out the shotgun just in time to hit the one shot on Jackal. That will put it up to match point for Madison.
Is Madison going to walk away without a run back from Indiana University? It seems
very possible at this point. The 4-1 lead that they have is very much a dominating lead, especially a daunting lead to be facing on coastline.
I feel like that past round, it was just the defenders' overall aggression that won them by putting Indiana in a very tough position. Indiana did respond appropriately by sending somebody to flank the Jackal courtside, but that wasn't enough to cross off Indiana's defenders, because Akazi C4'd, came upstairs, killed somebody else with his bullets, and then headed into sight, and then
was able to shut down the plant.
Yeah, he shut down the plant. Oh well, after the smoke put it in front of himself. But like at the same time, he was very close to the attackers that entire time. He was on their he was on them like a hound dog.
Yeah, absolutely. Even through the floor, he was only a couple meters away at any given point. Just really well orchestrated there from Akazi to try to take the best timing in that scenario and turn it to their advantage. Iowa did do a very good job of getting some refrags, though. Worth noting that they actually had the numbers advantage for a good portion of that round. They had the 5v4, then they had the 5v3. They lost one. It was 4v3. They brought it back to 4v2, and then from there, that seems to be when it all fell apart. As soon as that plant failed, they kind of lost their momentum, they lost their steam, and they didn't really have the health or the numbers to try to go for that site retake.
That is true.
Looks like Madison having to hold pitch in as their next site here. Wraith doing an interesting job of trying to open up the bottom floor, however the studs just being a little bit annoying and getting in his way.
Here's a quick question for you, Enrage.
Yes.
Where do you put your barbed? Oh, meanwhile, D is going to go ahead and start this round off with the first headshot onto Brandino, catching him as he was trying to exit the kitchen.
This is a very aggressive rush from IU. However, it doesn't seem like they're fully committing to it. They got the 1 kill, but now they're all trying to set up inside of bar. They're a little bit grouped up here as the other 2 remaining members are on the roof. But this could work out quite well for them, assuming that the other 2 members try to execute some sort of pincer attack onto the site.
Good work. They have the numbers advantage for now, but 1 minute is already getting pushed off of the board. And another drone is going to go out. They're being very diligent with knowing exactly where they are.
I mean, and it definitely pays to be diligent for Indiana right now. They need to be careful of everyone that they can be, and they need to be willing to take shots, but they need to be able to hit them, because this is match point, and they can make mistakes, but they have to be able to cover them up immediately.
Is Rafe gonna go for a peek here? He's trying to find anybody in the hallway. Oh, he did not see the gun there.
No, if anything, just a little pixel bit at the best. But a double kill coming out from Indiana. Slasher getting 1, D getting another. It leaves it up to just Banana Cat and Wraith to hold down the rest of site. We'll be trying to play in the hallway. Some shots from FMG-11 does get a little bit of damage onto 1. Quick peeks from the other. But no,
Headshot.
the shots coming out from Banana getting 1.
Banana Cat is going to have plenty of time to reload here as they continue to try to peek him. He's going to try to fire one way, fires the other way, but Slash is going to take him down. Sorry, Breakfast is going to take him down as Slash is going to take down Rafe coming in from elsewhere. Look at this. Nice shot there.
Good timing coordination. As soon as Banana dropped, they sent in the IQ, or as soon as Wraith was dropped, they sent in the IQ to deal with Banana. It was a good pinch attack, using the timing to their advantage.
I'm feeling a really... Sorry, go on. You first.
Madison does now have the option to play back on second floor, and it looks like they're going to do exactly that, as they have played enough rounds that they can go back to the first site that they won.
I'm feeling a lot of deja vu.
Absolutely.
This is a different map, but this is the exact same situation that Madison was in when they brought the run back.
100%.
I think Indiana can bring it back. They
Looks
just
like Madison going a bit deja vu with, or not deja vu, a little bit avant-garde with their picks here. 2 different French terms. Wraith choosing to bring the Pulse, actually 6-picking possibly off of it back onto Dock, while Brandino picks the Castle up instead, trying to slow down the attacks that they might use. That Lifeline will be used instead to open up the castle barricades instead of possible rotations or sidelines.
Like you said, they are trying to play for time. They're trying to strangle any bit of time they can out of this situation and try to stop the attackers from having any sort of advantage in planting. If they can avoid the plant by timing out, they will. That's how they're going to win the round.
Right, and it's worth noting that the mind games of having your time run down on you during a round can be very detrimental to the attackers. Knowing that you have 15 seconds to deal with 2 people and or get the plant down makes you rush, and making you rush gets sloppy. And that's, I think, what Madison is going for here. But Indiana's been doing a good job of not getting sloppy. They've been taking their time, they're droning, they're playing methodically. They're dealing with what they're given, and they're doing a good job of it.
That's a sneaky Evil Eye right there.
Playing on... Is that a Nitro Slicy or an ADS?
There is... No, that's an Evil Eye, and then an ADS below it.
Oh, Evil Eye with an ADS, okay. The, worth noting that the bottom of that bathroom wall also didn't get shot out here as well. That'll be, I believe, Banana Cat. With the, little bit of a hit on the T key there from Makazi. But no worries. Brandino doing a little bit of cam work, trying to see if anyone's rushing onto site. It doesn't look like that will be the case, however. Instead, Indiana using their time to try to drone this out. Looks like possibly a peek all the way down luggage onto Sophia, but instead Sophia doesn't seem to hear the Legion playing just inside. Instead, gonna watch towards White Stairs. Oh, the feet might get seen here, but no, Kazi doing a nice call of backing up, impacting the hatch. Dropping does see one actually picking up courtside. That's the Jackal off the board, and the roam clear gone. However, Wraith did get picked up as well earlier in the round by courtside.
That was a good drop.
Well timed there as well. Looks like Crux doing a little aggressive peek, possibly going to try to pick up the Zofia of Slasher. Looks like he's a little bit off where she actually is, though, because she's already in luggage, pushing her way towards White Stairs.
Does hear the Legion Goo Mine go off in VIP. Think, however, Mr. Slasher... No, he hasn't turned around yet. This is going to be an interesting push, but let's go over to D. They've already gone ahead and opened the VIP wall. Kazi's gonna find breakfast. And it'll be lose. Crux is gonna finally take down Mr. Slasher. Darn, we missed it. Okay.
Worth noting that there is less than a minute now left on the clock. Some shots ringing out, but not actually going to connect. D forced to fall back as he does want to avoid as much damage as possible. Thermite charge going off, trying to open up some walls, but it won't give them quite the push they're looking for right now. Not quite able to capitalize on that angle. Draco holding a long angle into 90 hallway, as Crux still playing inside of Aquarium towards luggage. It's like Thatcher EMP not quite hitting that Maestro Evil line. Does seem to know about it though. Now it seems to be going down, some damage getting put out from that UMP on Brandino. Pre-fires on the door and behind the bed, not quite connecting. Does leave it in a 2v4 scenario for IU. However, the Thatcher seems to be at just 1 health. Thermite almost getting taken out, and it does. UWM taking map 2 and moving on to the grand finals of Open League.
Crux coming around the corner, and it gets the shot on the Thermite, winning for Madison the entire series. And unfortunately now, Indiana University is crossed off from the playoffs. They will get a chance at the 3rd place next week, however.
And I believe for that they will be playing
Penn State Academy.
Overall, this kind of gives me flashbacks to how the Invitational worked, actually, back in February. Where the first map was overtime, round to round to round to round, and then move on to second map. Second map was a little bit closer, but really dominated, and it seems like that's exactly what Madison did. They took that steam from their first win, and they really just sent it home. They said, all right, we've got this, it's connected, and we're going.
Okay.
Over.
You're back? Oops.
Yes.
There we go. I did the wrong thing. You saw my surprise face for like a mid-second. Sorry, we use Discord for these casts. But anyways, do you think that Wisconsin... Oh, I should update that score. Give me a second. Give me a second. Do you think that there are things that Wisconsin could improve on before they face off against San Jose next week?
I mean, I think that can be said for any team. There's always something that can be improved on, regardless of how good they are. There's always room for improvement. Whether that's the smallest of macro plays or big mechanics like working on aim or operator picks. As far as it's concerned for Wisconsin, I think that they're doing well, but I think that on the rounds that they lost, it came down to just a little bit of poor communication and just not executing on each other's plays. They had picks and they had good ops. They were playing effectively. It's just sometimes they weren't able to really bounce off of each other's plays as much as they did, as we saw on Coastline.
That is fair. That is going to be it for our cast here tonight. I have a couple of things to remind you guys about. The Summer League is still going to be happening at the end of... It's going to start the end of May. Signups for that are up on our Twitter.
Also available in the Discord in Open League as well?
Yes, they are. The schedule for the stream will go out on our Discord shortly, and then it will be reposted to our Twitter after that. Do expect games Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday so that we can give each of these matches their respective amount of time. Anyways, I have been Duke Carge.
I've been Enrage, and thank you for your time.
Good night.